can't be the guys that's going to be timid and not knowing what's going on. You play hard, you play together. I mean, that's all we ask.
This is what we all have to do.
Be locked in, focus, just be disciplined, all right?
Now I feel like Kyrie, I'ma have to take the shot. If they tryna call me dog, I gotta hit the block. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. I got my black hoodie with a rollie on, eating pasta like Corleone. I don't got time for no fake boy. If you got the money, gon' show me some. I got 2 whips and I'm self-paid. Never got help, bro, I'm self-made. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. Hey, what up, say? Home up in the studio, said I'm locked in. My stock going way up, I got options. Yeah, they fine, but stop playing, you not him. Wait, the numbers going up.
You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
MCC has definitely benefited me most on not only what I want to do, but who I aspire to be. Expect every professor to help you become who you want to be and more. Create your own success at MCC.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, as we get ready to bring you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here locally, but from all around the nation. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today on this Friday Eve, here on this Thursday afternoon, getting you ready for lots and lots of big-time sporting events coming up this weekend. Divisional round in the playoffs coming up this weekend. We'll talk about that today. The College Football National Championship on Monday, of course. I'll give out my final picks and predictions about that game. If you've been watching with us all week, you probably know which direction I'm going in that game. We'll talk some MCC basketball here in just a second. Also talk a little bit about Baylor basketball. We'll talk some today about the transfer portal, what's going on in that. Big news is Dante Moore staying. And one of the biggest headlines in sports today, John Harbaugh hired as coach of the New York Giants. Big time news, so we'll be able to talk about all of that here today on Centex Primetime. Hey, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like, and share as well. You subscribe, click the bell so you can catch all of our content, including MCC basketball. Picks back up this weekend on Saturday. MCC will be taking on Ranger College here at home, the conference home opener for MCC. The women will play at 2 o'clock. The men will play their game at 4 o'clock. So let's jump right into it, folks. Like I said, got a lot to talk about here today on Centex Primetime. First off, let's talk some MCC basketball. As the women's team, one of the top-ranked teams in the nation, ranked top 10 in the country, they'll be starting it off this weekend versus Ranger College. They got a win a week ago from Saturday against Weatherford in a really tough battle between them and the Weatherford Coyotes. Weatherford always a really good opponent. Anytime MCC will be able to match up against them, always looking to be a good game. The women's team were able to come out with the victory, 63-55 in that game. Tajane Good and Red Gooden off the bench came in with 19 points to lead all scorers in scoring, knocked down a couple timely threes and was perfect from the free throw line. Sharavia Smith was huge for the Highlasses in this game. Came off the bench, 12 points, 9 rebounds. 6 of those rebounds, offensive rebounds. She was a monster on the glass. MCC was able to out-rebound Weatherford in this game, 43-29. and that was their main reason for coming out with the victory in that one, as they get their second conference win. Coach Thomas off to another phenomenal start with this MCC squad, coming off a regional championship last year, the first one they've had in decades, so that was a huge, huge win for them last year. They're picking back up where they left off. This year, off to another great start, another top 10 ranked team looking to move up. They get another formidable opponent this weekend as they'll be taking on the Ranger College Rangers. Now, the Rangers women's team has been struggling this year. They're 7-10, looking to get above 500. But sometimes the out-of-conference play can be a little bit misleading. They've played some really, really good teams. I mean, they played New Mexico Junior College, who MCC played in the regional final last year. So we know what that team is all about. They played Murray State College. They played some really good teams, and that's what's led to maybe some miscues they've had in their pre-conference schedule. But since they've come in the conference, they've won a couple of games in a row, and one of those games being against Collin Community College, who is another one of the top teams, not only in this conference, but in the nation. They've always got a really, really good team. They're ranked in the nation as well. Weatherford Ranger was able to beat them on Wednesday. Now, I know that's kind of a maybe you would say a trap game. Collin all the way in Plano. They got to travel all the way to Ranger. I'm sure a lot of you don't even know where Ranger is. It's kind of almost in the middle of nowhere. They got to travel there on a weeknight. It's kind of a trap game on the schedule, but the Rangers pull it out. They win 63-43 in that game, so they've got momentum coming in to MCC this weekend to take on another top-ranked team. I think MCC will be in good shape to come out with the victory in this game. They've had players step up all season long, but their leading scorer for the year, Lanija Johnson, has been huge for them this year. Her first year in the program, the sophomore out of Centex, Texas, has been averaging 13 points a game, 10 rebounds a game to go along with it, shooting 55% from the field, shooting just about 70% from the free throw line. She is off to a phenomenal start. Should be a shoo-in for an all-conference player this year. Could potentially even get some national recognition, especially depending on how far MCC can go this season. But she's off to a great, great start. Red Gooding in her second year here in the program, really stepping up, taking on an even bigger role than what she had last year on that regional championship team, averaging 13 points a game, 4 boards to go along with it, 3 assists to go along with it as well. And some of the newcomers have been huge for this Hialassie squad this year. Sharavia Smith, somebody that was on the roster last year, was injured in the offseason, did not get a chance to play. She has shined this year, averaging 6 points and 6 boards, but those numbers are going to continue to climb as they get further and further throughout the season. More importantly, she's shooting almost 70% from the field, shooting 67% from the field. She's had a tremendous impact offensively and defensively for the Hialassies this year. 2 o'clock, they'll be playing against the Ranger College Rangers right here at the Highlands in Waco, Texas. So if you're not able to make the game in person, definitely make sure you tune in right here on Centex Sports Network. Shifting over to the men's side of things, the men's team coming off a win against Weatherford in their last matchup last Saturday. They come out with the win 59-50. That was their conference opener. They open up conference on the road. It's going to be a tough game, just about every single game in this conference MCC plays in, both men and women's. There are no easy games. When you got to travel all the way to Weatherford, it's going to be a well-coached team. They're going to have some guys that can make shots as well. MCC came out with the win on the road. Amari Banks led all MCC scorers with 13 points. He has been tremendous for the Highlanders this year. His second year in the program, guard out of Atlanta, Georgia, averaging 11 points a game, 3 rebounds a game to go along with it. Taking on a much bigger role than what he had last year. Last year, really good run for Coach Gillis in the squad as they went 27-3. They went 27-3, went all the way
Avion Jackson
to the
out in front, and Jackson
game,
all the way to the cup.
They fell short against a really, really good
pass inside and the finish that time.
Amari Banks
stolen away.
Part of that team.
Gaskins pushing this
part
one
of
up to
team,
Burgess.
averaging 11
Burgess.
points a game for the squad. Joseph Mayberry, he had 9 points in that last game, but he's been playing tremendous and a guy that I feel like has really taken a leap this year in his game.
Step back
what
three.
he's been able to do for the
2 in a
Highlanders.
row
Averaging
for Amari
12 points a
Banks.
game, averaging
Able
6 boards
to
a
get the
game,
offense
going
fully
with
going
it.
in that first half.
He was a defensive stopper for the Highlanders last year, taking on an even bigger offensive role this year, and he shined. He's shooting 52% from the field. Also shooting 46% from the three-point line. Now, he doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but when he does shoot them, he's making half of them. Shooting 84% from the free throw line as well. This guy has played some tremendous ball for Coach Gill and for this team. Coach Gill this year has got a lot of depth, I feel like, on the team. He's got guys. He can go about 10 deep with this roster. He's got guys with experience. He's got guys coming back to the team like Amari Banks, like Joseph Mayberry. Joe Burgess, who also has been huge for the Highlanders this year. In their last win against Weatherford, he had 9 points, 17 rebounds. 17 rebounds to go along with it. Man, he's played tremendous for them. His second year in the program as well. He stepped up big time for them, averaging 8.7 boards this year for the Highlanders. But they've got depth. They can bring in a couple guards off the bench with Aiden Long, Kenneth Morast, and Carday Turner, who's been playing well, another second-year guy, Kadavon Jeffries. They've got the human highlight reel of what I've been calling him, Timmy, coming off the bench. He's played some good ball. And then they can also throw in another second-year guy, Max Blank, a guy that brings a lot of size. We saw in the Weatherford game when they needed a big body to come in the game. Max was able to come in and contribute right away. They're playing against a Ranger team that also has been off to a slow start this year, but they've come up with some big-time wins in their last couple of games. Their last game against Collin College, they were able to come out with the win. Collin right up there with MCC sitting at the top of this conference. So Rangers got confidence coming into this MCC game. They won that last game 85-83, last-second win. We know this Ranger team, traditionally over the last few years, they like to sit in the zone. They usually got longer guys out there in that zone to make it difficult. They're going to force MCC to shoot jump shots. And on the other side, on the offensive side of the ball, Ranger likes to put up threes. They put them up in flurries. They had 2 guys hit 5 threes in their last win against Collin College. So they're going to come in down here to the Highlands. They're going to try to shoot the ball. They're going to sit in the zone. They're going to force MCC to try to shoot jumpers. It's going to be a chess match, like it always is when these two teams match up against each other. So 2 really, really good games coming up this weekend with MCC. The men's team will play at 4 o'clock. The women will play at 2 o'clock. Make sure, if you're here locally, try to come out here to the Highlands and help with this crowd out here at the Highlands. They've got a great home crowd. It's going to be the home conference opener. They're going to have the band in there, getting the guys hyped. The dance team will be back in there, getting everybody hyped as well. They might even bring the mascot out. I'm not sure if he's booked already this weekend or not, but maybe I don't know what his name is. I go to the school. I probably should know what the name of the mascot is, but the Highlander. Maybe he's Harry the Highlander. That's what I'm going to call him. Maybe he'll even make an appearance. So if you're here in the Waco area, come on out this Saturday, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Catch some MCC basketball. 2 really, really good squads that have playoff aspirations, that have a conference championship aspirations, and both have really good chances to be able to do it. They're both coming off of conference championships last year. Coach Gill, Coach Thomas looking to do it again. So tune in right here on Centex Sports Network on Saturday, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, MCC basketball. Let's shift over and talk about the other team here locally, the Baylor Bears. Baylor was able to come out with the win last night. Their men's team came out with the W last night against Oklahoma State. They traveled out to Stillwater and got a win. Makes it their 10th straight win in Stillwater. Huge accomplishment because Oklahoma State has always got a good basketball program. I can think back all the way to my time in high school and watching the Baylor Bears and them playing against guys like LeBron Nash that was at Oklahoma State, the Marcus Smarts that was at Oklahoma State. Fast forward some more years, the Cade Cunninghams at Oklahoma State. They've got more ballers this year on Oklahoma State, but Baylor was able to come out with the victory, a much, much needed victory. They get their first win in conference play over a formidable opponent on the road as well. It's never easy to get a road win. Baylor is off to a 1-3 start in conference play, but if you haven't checked the standings, just look at the Big 12 and what's going on in the Big 12, man. The Big 12 is a gauntlet, so getting this win was huge for them. Tunde Yesufu, their 5-star recruit, the guy that's going to need to step up for them this year in order to get some more wins. He stepped up in this game. He came out with 23 points in this one, 5 rebounds, 3 steals to go along with it. Man, he came out the game hot. From opening tip, he was ready to go. Him and Cameron Carr, I feel like, are going to have to lead these guys. They're going to have to carry the scoring load for majority of the year. Tunde Yesufu has been able to step up. Hyper-athletic guy, going to be a lottery pick. Whenever he's knocking down a 3 ball, he hit his first 3, I believe. He missed the rest of them after that. But when he's knocking down a 3 ball and it opens up those driving lanes even more, we know how dangerous this guy can be in transition. And then Cameron Carr, the transfer from Tennessee, he has been phenomenal for the Baylor Bears so far this year. Has 17 points in their win last night, 6 assists to go along with it. He's going to be their lead guard so far this year. As I said, the Big 12 is just a gauntlet, man. And if you're playing on the men's side and the women's side as well, we're getting ready to talk about the women. When you look at the men's side, you've got Arizona, who's the number 1 team in the country, haven't lost a game. Iowa State, number 2 team in the country, just lost their first game last night against Kansas, who's not even ranked, against a Kansas team who is sitting right around the same spot as Baylor, a couple of spots up at Baylor, middle of the pack, lower pack in the Big 12 standings. Kansas, with the best player in the country, potentially, in Darren Peterson. I think the 2 best players in the country are right here in the Big 12. You got U of H. We know what they're going to do week in and week out. Going to be a hard-nosed, tough team. They're going to have older guys out there and kind of inflicting power and punishment onto the other teams, man. That's what they do. They get the 22-year-olds, the 23-year-olds. And we're seeing what Indiana does in football, having an older team. Basketball is an even younger sport when you're talking about college. Most of the good teams, man, these are 18, 19, 20-year-olds. So when you get a team like U of H with 22, 23, 24-year-olds, man, they're going to be physical against these other teams. That's what U of H brings. They're the number 7 team in the country. This is all teams in the Big 12. At number 11, BYU, who I watched, stayed up late and watched get a win over a tough TCU team last night. They've got another guy that could be the best player in the country, in A.J. DeBounster, and he showed out last night, 25 points in front of their home crowd. They're sitting at 16-1. Sitting at 13-4, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, number 15 team in the country. So the Big 12 is loaded. That doesn't include tough teams like Cincinnati that are always tough. That doesn't include tough teams like West Virginia, who's always going to be tough. That doesn't include a UCF team that's sitting at 14-2 right now and not even ranked. So, like I said, this is an absolute gauntlet that these guys have to go through. Baylor, getting their first win last night was going to be huge for them because their next game that they have that they'll be playing tomorrow, 7 o'clock on Fox, is against Kansas at Kansas. So not only do you have to be on the road in the middle of the week last night at Oklahoma State, then you're going to take a plane or a bus. I'm not sure whichever one they take, probably a plane. They got plenty of money out there in Baylor, to go play at Kansas, at Allen Fogg Fieldhouse, one of the toughest places to play. I talked about it before on here. Back in maybe it's about 2012, I'm at a Baylor game, and haven't been to a lot of Baylor games at that point, especially basketball. Had a squad, man, my favorite Baylor team. You know, we had Pierre Jackson, Quincy Miller, Deuce Bello, all of those dudes. Perry Jones, loaded team. They play against the Kansas Jayhawks, and I never heard the Kansas Jayhawks do the Rock Talk Jayhawk. I'm in the Farrell Center, and it sounds like we're at Allen Fogg Fieldhouse with how many Kansas fans have traveled down. So I can only imagine. Haven't been there. I would like to go one day. What the environment's gonna be like tomorrow night, whenever these guys play at 7 o'clock. Huge, huge implications. Kansas is sitting like a middle of a pack team, like I just said, in the Big 12. But they just got a huge win over the number 2 team in the nation in Iowa State last night. Matter of fact, they blew them out. So they're looking to build some momentum and put together some wins in what is, I think, the toughest conference in the country. Some people would say the SEC. But when you got the number 1, the number 2, the number 7, the number 11, number 14 team in the nation, it's hard to argue with that, man. I think Big 12 is the best basketball. They're looking to get a huge win. Baylor has got to come out and be aggressive in this game just like they did last night in Oklahoma State. You're playing on the road. You can't have a slow start. You have a slow start against a team like Kansas, who we know can get hot. who's got an absolute monster at guard like Darren Peterson, you got to come out you got to come out swinging first. You can't sit back and wait to get swung on. That's how you're going to lose, especially in a place like Allen Fogg Fieldhouse, man. Tremendous game scheduled for tomorrow night. Love that we get some action on Friday nights. These NBA games have been on TV, at least this week maybe. Just trash. Shout out to Spurs and OKC game was pretty decent the other day, but man, some of these games, like, can we change the schedule? And I know maybe it's too early to change out some of the scheduling, but some of these NBA games have just been weak, to say the least. Excited to see Baylor taking on Kansas. It'll be on Fox tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And then right after that, they've got Texas Tech in what's going to be a really, really tough game. A few days after that, they come back home to play against Texas Tech, and then they'll be playing against TCU again, who they just lost to. So, man, reading off the schedule, there's not going to be any easy games. Now, they have an easier stretch, I guess. You get Cincinnati, West Virginia, and Colorado before you get Iowa State again and then BYU. But there's going to be no easy games because none of those guys are slouches. Cincinnati's always going to be tough. TCU has already beaten Baylor. Baylor's got to get the wins against the teams I would say they're supposed to beat, but the teams that aren't ranked, the teams that aren't the top teams in the country, like a TCU, like a Cincinnati, like a West Virginia, like a Colorado, you got to beat those because you still got the BYUs. You still got the Iowa States. You still got the U of H's that you're going to have to go against. So I like this Baylor squad, man. Cameron Carr averaging 20 points a game for him. If him and Tunde Yesufu can continue to play at a high level, hey, man, the sky's the limit for this Baylor Bears team. We know Scott Drew can coach. We know he's going to be an NBA talent. And then we went and got a 30-year-old to come play center for us off the bench. So if we're going to do all that and cause all this national media ruckus, we got to win some games. If we're going to pay a dude that's 23 years old, 24 years old to come play college ball, man, we got to win some games. That's just that simple. The rules are the rules. Baylor's playing within the rules of getting this guy. Even though he was drafted, he didn't play in the NBA games. We're playing within the rules. We got to win. It's that simple. They got to come out and get a win. The Baylor women's team gets their 5th win in a row as they take out the Utah Utes in a game. That leading scorer in that game, Talia Scott, who's played phenomenal all year long for the Lady Bears, having a really good year, averaging 20 points a game, 3 assists, 3 rebounds to go along with it. The sophomore out of Orange Park, Florida, has led the Baylor Bears, the Lady Bears, this year in scoring. But this is another, as we just spoke about with the men's team, this Baylor women's team, they've got depth, man. They've got some girls off the bench that can really play. They've got a lead guard like Talia Scott. Little Paige Bugs is just a do-it-all player for Baylor. I've seen her get 15, 17 rebound games. She's averaging 10 points a game, 11 boards to go along with it. She has played phenomenal for the Lady Bears this year, but they're in another tough conference as well. The Big 12 is tough on both sides of it. The women's, I won't say just as tough as the men's side of it, but they've got ballers too. Obviously, Texas Tech is undefeated this year. TCU, with Olivia Miles being their new lead guard, is definitely going to make some noise. They're ranked number 10 in the nation. But the Lady Bears have a chance to be able to win this. They've got a chance to win this conference, to win the Big 12. I think they can hang with the Texas Techs. I think they can hang with the TCUs. Only time will be able to tell, but as of right now, the way they've played through their conference opener, they lost to Texas Tech, who's undefeated by just a point. They took out Oklahoma State, who was a top-ranked team. They beat Iowa State with Artie Crooks, who's one of my favorite players to watch. So they've taken out some really big teams. Coming up on Saturday, they'll be playing against BYU at BYU, and after that, they'll play against UCF. So they've got a chance to really stockpile some wins here before they run into a big-time team like TCU. They've got TCU twice again this year, and then they also got Tech one more time. So still got to play some really big games, but the Lady Bears off to a phenomenal start, 16-3 start, ranked number 18 team in the country. So they have been playing well so far. Let's look at some other local Baylor news here. The Baylor Bears talked yesterday about DJ Lagway coming on, or a couple of days ago about DJ Lagway coming on board here with the Baylor Bears, and talked about their losses that they've had in the transfer portal, losing big-time names like Keaton Thomas, who's headed off to Ole Miss, like some of these other guys on the defensive side of the ball that have transferred away, Marion Winston, some of the other guys as well. But now they lose. Their kicker, Connor Hawkins, is headed off to Ohio State. And some people are saying, oh, man, he's going to leave. Hey, man, this is a simple case of he's getting the bag. So I say shout out to him. You had a really good year for the Bears last year. You went perfect on extra point attempts. And, you know, we think extra point attempts, you're supposed to go perfect. You're never supposed to miss those. But as you can see, lots and lots and lots of kickers do. We've seen it already in this college football playoffs. Connor Hawkins, 37 for 37 on extra point attempts this year. 18 for 22 on field goals with a career long of 54 yards. Had a phenomenal freshman season, man. He's headed off to Ohio State. He's getting the bag. It's that simple. To me, if you got a chance to go and get the bag, you got to go out there and get the bag. That's what he was able to do. Shout out to him. Some of these portal ads that Baylor has had. Talked about DJ Lagway coming, and will that be enough? I mean, you're losing. To say you're losing talent is an understatement. You lose Bryson Washington going to Auburn. You lose Sawyer Robertson going to the draft. Josh Cameron, Kobe Prentice going to the draft. Michael Trigg going to the draft. Connor, your center, that was an all Big 12 selection, transferring, going to another school. How do you put talent back on this Baylor roster? Some of the notable free transfer acquisitions, they've got Hardy Gilmore, big-time receiver from Kentucky, Jalen Miller, who I think is going to be a focal point of the offense next year for the Baylor Bears. You get Garrick Ponder, the edge out of Southern Miss, a couple of safeties from Kansas State, Kobe McAllister and Daniel Cobbs. Get another D lineman from South Carolina and Xavion Hardy. Bringing an offensive line, Cole Rett from Toledo. Those are, good pickups, serviceable pickups. Is that enough? I feel like last year we had a better transfer portal, and it didn't amount to wins at the end of the day. It did not amount to wins for the Baylor Bears. You lose all of those guys. You lose pretty much all of your highest production defensive players to the transfer portal. Will it be enough for the Baylor Bears coming back? You're coming off of a year where you win 5 games. You go 5-7. How do you replace that production? With DJ Lagway in this Jake Spavital offense, can he be effective? I think so. I think he's going to be way more effective than he was at Florida. One, you're not playing in the SEC. You're not playing against Alabama and A&M and the Texas Longhorns. And you're going to be playing in an offense that I think is going to be better suited for him with Jake Spavital. He's a guy that's mobile. It's a guy that was a 5-star coming out of high school. But you know how, those of you that watch the show, you know how I feel about high school hype. Can't live off the high school hype, man. Can't bring up, oh, this dude was a 5-star then. And that don't matter, especially when we've seen you play college ball. You threw 14 picks last year. You're going to have to play better football than that. Can he do it at Baylor? Absolutely. I fully expect him to have a much better stat line playing in Baylor. But will it amount to wins is the biggest question for the Baylor Bears. I don't have that crystal ball for that to see will it amount to wins. I have to see more how this transfer portal goes, how maybe the spring game goes. Are they going to play some of these young freshmen? They lost a lot of guys in their incoming freshman class. One of the guys that stayed, a lot of Baylor connections, a lot of Central Texas connections, London Smith. I think he's a guy that's got to get in the offense right away. I got to call multiple of his games for his senior year. Going to go down in the history books as one of the best football players out of Waco, Texas, especially when you see what he was able to do with the University of Trojans this last year. Can he come to Baylor and have that same success? I think so. I think they got to bring him right on up, especially with the guys that we've lost in the receiving room. We lost pretty much all our guys. Ashton Hawkins is gone. Josh Cameron is gone. Kobe Prentice is gone. That's a bulk of Baylor's workload right there. Michael Trigg is gone. So they got a lot to be able to bring back. Obviously, Caden Knighton will be back with these guys. Dawson Pendergrass will maybe be healthy with these guys. I don't know. Baylor's got a shot, but they've got a lot to put together in order to be competitive this year. And so far in the transfer portal, I just don't think they've been able to get it done. Folks, we're getting ready to take a quick break. When we come back, John Harbaugh headed to the Giants for $100 million. John Harbaugh, 60-something years old, gets a $100 million contract this late into his career with the New York Giants. We'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit of NBA. We'll talk about Dante Moore staying down here, or not down here, but staying in college football at the University of Oregon as well. And we'll give out my picks, final predictions and picks for the games this coming up weekend. The college football playoffs resume on Monday with the national championship and then obviously the divisional round in the NFL playoffs. So stay tuned, stay locked in right here on Centex Primetime. We'll be right back after this short break.
We can't be the guys that's going to be timid and not knowing what's going on. You play hard, you play together. I mean, that's all we ask.
This is what we all have to do.
Be locked in, focus, just be disciplined, all right?
Now I feel like Kyrie, I'ma have to take the shot. If they tryna call me dog, I gotta hit the block. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. I got my black hoodie with a rollie on, eating pasta like Corleone. I don't got time for no fake boy. If you got the money, gon' show me some. I got 2 whips and I'm self-paid. Never got help, bro, I'm self-made. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. Hey, what up, say? Whole month in the studio, so I'm locked in. My stock going way up, I got options. Yeah, they fine, but stop playing, you not him. Wait, the numbers going up.
You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
MCC has definitely benefited me most on not only what I want to do, but who I aspire to be. Expect every professor to help you become who you want to be and more. Create your own success at MCC.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
All your car needs now is a stereo system. Now I know just the spot to go get it. Man, Jack Stereo.
Oh yeah, they're the best. How'd you know about that place?
Because that's where my dad took me.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm the coolest cat on the block.
Oh my God.
Need a new audio system for your new ride? Jack Stereo has been selling the best stereos and equipment for generations after generations. Come visit your local store today. Those in the know, go to Jack Stereo, Waco, Temple, Killeen, and Bryan College Station.
I've looked back at MCC with all these kids coming out here, these men and women starting their lives out here, starting their dreams and their visions of what they want to do for their family. It's the foundation for our community.
The plan is to go win.
Yes, sir.
Our girls set a goal that they wanted to win a national championship. They wanted to win a conference championship. That's been on the table from day one. And now we put ourselves in the position to do that.
Pitch hit in the air and deep to left field. Going back is Rayvon Morgan at the wall. He leaps and he makes the catch for the third out.
Too much to give in. If you think it's over, then let's start it again. The planet's alive, the stars burn bright.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back in here to Centex Prime Time as we're here in the second part of the show on this Friday Eve. Hey, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today as we just wrapped up talking about some Baylor basketball. The Baylor Bears, both men and women's team, get a win last night. Also talked about MCC basketball So make sure you guys go back to the front end of the show once the broadcast is over. Check out me talking about some MCC basketball. 2 really good games coming up this weekend. 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock MCC men and women's team will be playing right here on Centex Sports Network or live at the Highlands if you guys want to tune in or go to the game and check those guys out over there. Let's get to some of the biggest news of the day. Coach John Harbaugh, a few days after being fired from the Baltimore Ravens, already has got another job, finalizing a deal with the New York Giants worth $100 million. That is right, $100 million for John Harbaugh from the New York Giants. Some people were saying, oh, man, why did he go to the Giants? There are better jobs out there, the Atlanta Falcons, to this. Did y'all miss the part about $100 million? It seems like a pretty easy decision to me. I'm heading to the New York Giants. Now, how do I like the fit for Harbaugh going down to New York? I think this is good for the Giants. They need somebody that can bring in culture. Brian Daboll could bring in plays to the New York Giants, but the biggest thing they need is culture. They haven't had it, honestly, since Tom Coughlin was the coach, when they made a couple of Super Bowl runs there. John Harbaugh, getting another Super Bowl win will be huge for his legacy. It could cement him as an all-time great coach, in my opinion, because right now I don't think he is an all-time great coach. I think he's an all-time good coach. Kind of the same way I feel about Mike Tomlin. I think they're both 2 all-time good coaches. All-time great, they're not Don Shula. They're not, Bill Belichick. You know what I'm saying? They're not Bill Walsh. They're not John Madden, Vince Lombardi. But they're a tier under that. Really good coaches. They got Super Bowl wins. A lot of coaches, most coaches don't got Super Bowl wins. So, a really good coach, yes. He has a chance to take that to another stratosphere, especially if he's able to win in a market like New York with a team that's been as bad as the New York Giants. Do I think that'll happen? Absolutely not. Like, come on, y'all. Let's be real. Maybe, let me not say that. Harbaugh's only 60-something. In 10 more years, I don't know what the league will look like. I don't know what the Giants look like. So maybe he does get another Super Bowl run out of this. But with the guys they have now, I don't know. Can they be good? I think so. I think they can be competitive in this NFC East that's honestly wide open. We don't know what's going to happen with Philly. They're going to get rid of some guys. They already got rid of Kevin Patullo, their offensive coordinator. Might get rid of some more guys. We don't know what's going to happen with the Commanders. Jaden Daniels' injury history is a thing to mention. It's worth looking at. The Dallas Cowboys are the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones already told you he's more interested in selling tickets and making money than he is in putting a good product on the field. And that shows with his actions. He never had to say it, to me at least. It clearly shows in his actions. So we don't know what the Cowboys are going to be. That being said, you've got a young Jackson Dart. You've got a Cam Scatterbo. You got a Malik Neighbors. You got one of the better defensive lines in the country in football with Brian Burns, with Kayvon Thibodeau, with Dexter Lawrence, with Abdul Carter if he turns out to be a guy. So they've got some good pieces. But for the people that are saying, man, you put Harbaugh in here, this is already a playoff team next year, now we got to hold the horses. They're not going to be a playoff team next year. They've still got major, major, major issues. But will they be improved? I fully expect them to be improved. John Harbaugh, man, $100 million. Just shout out to John Harbaugh. That's all you can say on that. Getting $100 million from the New York Giants. Like I said, I think he'll be a good coach for them. I think he'll have plenty of job security. He's got to figure out how to get Joe Schoen out of his organization because Joe Schoen is a terrible, terrible GM. Still have no idea how he has a job. After the Brian Daboll firing, I think that solidified my theory that Joe Schoen has pictures or something on somebody within the Giants organization and the Giants higher-ups because I can't think of any other reason why he would still have a job there. I mean, they were talking about how he's optimized computer systems for the New York Giants. What does that have to do with picking good football players? Absolutely nothing. So, hey, shout out Joe Schoen, but John Harbaugh's got to figure out a way to work around him. The Harbaugh signing, I think, will be a pivotal signing, though, for this New York Giants squad. Staying in the NFL, let's look at the quarterbacks this upcoming divisional round playoff. Who can have the biggest legacy changers. Let's start the first game Saturday, Buffalo Bills and Denver Broncos. Bo Nix wins this. If Bo Nix wins the Super Bowl, I mean, he's going to put himself in a completely different stratosphere of how we look at him as a quarterback. I don't see them getting there, even though I know they have a tremendous defense. I don't think that much of Bo Nix. I think he's a pretty good game manager. I do think that much of Sean Payton as a coach. And he's proven to be able to get production out of quarterbacks. Just not named Russell Wilson. I think he's proven to get production with Bo Nix. Bo Nix was to win the Super Bowl. I mean, it changes the way we look at him. It changes the QB rankings. But if Bo Nix wins, I'll look at him similar to a Jalen Hurts as a winner. I won't look at him as a Patrick Mahomes. I won't look at him as one of those guys with a Super Bowl ring, a Matt Stafford. I won't look at him as like that, but I look at him as, hey, man, your team is great, and you were the quarterback to lead those guys. Bo Nix. Josh Allen has the most to gain in these playoffs. If Josh Allen can win the Super Bowl, this is going to – I think he's already a Hall of Famer, but this will solidify him as that guy in the NFL pretty much. Patrick Mahomes coming off injury, you can put him as the clear number one quarterback in the NFL if he wins the Super Bowl this year, especially looking at the weapons he has. 'Cause I don't think much of this Buffalo Bills team. I think every single week they win, it's because Josh Allen puts a Superman cape on and jumps out the phone booth and leads his team to a victory. He's got the most to gain. And on the other night, Saturday night game, San Francisco and Seattle, if Sam Darnold was to win the Super Bowl, man, could that change a lot. You're talking about a guy that was considered a bust for the New York Jets, a guy that came in, played a couple games with the Niners, a guy that gets thrown into the fire with the Minnesota Vikings and wins 14 games. They were starting J.J. McCarthy over him. And, J.J. McCarthy has shown that he's not going to be much in the NFL, at least in my opinion. Then he goes to Seattle, a new team, gets a new contract, gets a brand new team, and they win 14 games to get the number one seed in the NFC. If Sam Darnold could win a Super Bowl, what a career story, what a career turnaround that would be for him. Brock Purdy, if he's able to win the Super Bowl this year, it would be a Herculean effort, and we'd have to put him as a top 3 quarterback in the NFL because I don't see any way possible that they win the Super Bowl. But we're going to talk about that game. I think they do have a really good chance to be able to win the game against Seattle this weekend. We'll talk about that, though. C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans, if C.J. Stroud is able to win the Super Bowl, it'll put him on the same trajectory as I don't want to say a Mahomes. It'll put him on a great trajectory. I'll say that. It'll put him on a trajectory like a Tom Brady early in his career. A guy that, man, this dude can play. He can make plays at the end. We don't see him as a game changer, but he can make plays, and he'll be on a really good team. He's young. He's still on his first contract. If he's able to go out there and win the Super Bowl, man, they're going to have to back the Brinks truck up. Drake May, I mean, he's already getting the Tom Brady comparisons. If he's able to go out there and win in year 2, it'll mean a lot for him, but I think it'll mean more for Coach Vrabel and what we think of him as a coach. It could be the next Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Great coach, great quarterback pairing if he's able to go out there and win. The Rams, I think Matt Stafford has the second most to prove in this year's playoffs, right behind Josh Allen. If he can go out there and get a win, he's already a Hall of Famer in my eyes. Well, and it should be in everybody's eyes. He's already a first ballot Hall of Famer in my eyes. One of the best quarterbacks in the league. Should be the MVP this year. Understand the great year Drake May had, but if you look at the numbers, you look at what they've done this year, you look at what the Rams would be without him, man, come on. I think Matt Stafford's the sure enough MVP. The person with probably the absolute most to gain out of this that will cause just the most uproar and cause the most conversation is Caleb Williams. If Caleb Williams could win a Super Bowl, I mean, you just got to forget about it. This would be the biggest story, not because of who he is, but because of the Bears. I mean, these guys didn't have a 4,000-yard passer in their history. He became the first to do that. He's a guy that can make every single throw. He's a guy with ridiculous arm talent. I mean, some of the throws, when you go back and look at the throws that this guy makes, off platform, rolling the wrong way, throwing across the body, throwing in the wind, playing in Chicago. If he was able to win a Super Bowl, they're not my Super Bowl pick, But if Caleb Williams, everybody got the same chance to be able to make the Super Bowl right now that are in the playoffs. If he was able to win the Super Bowl, man, an uproar would be an understatement. Sam Darnold this weekend versus the Niners, questionable in this game with an oblique injury. Now, obviously, I think Sam Darnold will play, but I said it earlier in the week. Which Sam Darnold are you going to get? We don't know. You don't know. You're never sure what Sam Darnold you're going to get. He's played phenomenal this year, but he played phenomenal last year. Got in the playoffs and laid an egg. Will he do the same this year? I don't know. He's got one of the top receivers in the league in Jackson Smith and Jigba, who went for 1,800 yards. He's got one of the best defenses in the league with the Devin Witherspoon, who's an all-pro, Leonard Williams on that front as well, the young rookie Nick Emanwari, one of my favorite players out of last year's draft. But with him being hobbled coming into this game, playing against a 49ers team, the better quarterback, probably Brock Purdy with how he's been playing. The better coach, by a mile, Kyle Shanahan. Does that mean everything? No. But what it does mean is Kyle Shanahan's going to know how to scheme up against these guys. I think they can put up points against Seattle. I know they got shut out just a couple of weeks ago, but Week 18 and a divisional round playoff game are two completely different things, in my opinion. I think Brock Purdy and those guys have a great chance of getting an upset, especially with news that Sam Darnold is hobbled a little bit coming into this game. Let's look at some of these picks before we go into some of these games before we go into our quick takes. The first game, Buffalo versus Denver. Talked about it a couple times already this week. I like Denver in this game. I know Buffalo, they've got Josh Allen, and he is the best player in this game. He's going to be the best player in this game. But do they have enough, man? I just don't like this Buffalo defense. I don't like any of the weapons that they have. They narrowly escaped past Jacksonville. I think Denver's got a better defense. I think they've got a better coach. And they're playing at home, and they're one of the best home teams. They're 8-1 this year at home in Mile High. I'm picking Denver. Yes, Josh Allen can have a tremendous performance in this game. I just don't think they have enough. This Denver defense is going to shut down any receiver. I mean, Khalil Shakur had 12 catches. He's not getting 12 catches on Pat Surtain. He's not getting 12 catches on Riley Moss. Forget Pat. Whoever's on that side, that's already over with. You got Hufanga playing behind those guys who made an all-pro team. This defense is crazy. Nick Benito, who's an all-pro. Man, these guys have had just a tremendous season defensively. I got Denver going on, winning it, headed to the AFC Championship for the first time since Peyton Manning and Von Miller and all those boys made it back to the AFC Championship. The second game on Saturday, San Francisco versus Seattle. Just talked about this with the Sam Darnold injury. I've been back and forth. But I'm going to go ahead and come out and say it. I got the upset in this game. Brock Purdy and the 49ers going back to the NFC Championship again with Kyle Shanahan. It's a team that every other year they end up in the NFC Championship game. I feel like this is another year that they just somehow narrowly escape. I know the entire team is beat up. Fred Warner's out. Nick Bosa's out in that defensive side of the ball. George Kittle just popped his Achilles last week. He's going to be out. It's just Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, and Kyle Shanahan. That's it. Everybody else is a mix-up. I think Trent Williams is going to be back in this game. That could be huge for them. I don't know. I got the upset, man. I just keep seeing the writing on the wall, keep having this feeling about Sam Darnold not being the guy. Now it's reports that he's coming into this game injured. I could be crazy. Vegas has got them favored by 7 points. I'm taking San Fran in the points in this one. Give me San Francisco to get the upset. Even in Seattle, with the 12th man out there screaming, I still got them getting a big-time upset. Sunday at 2 o'clock. Hopefully, nobody calls me about this time. And if you do, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to answer. My Houston Texans headed to Foxborough to play against the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium. Man, this is going to be a really, really good game. I hate that my Texans are playing, and not because I don't think we can win, but because I really like this Patriots team. What Mike Vrabel has done, he should clearly be the coach of the year to take these guys pretty much from worst to first. get the bye and everything. Or don't get the bye, but just narrowly miss out on getting the bye versus Denver. Second seed in the playoffs. They've got a great defense. Drake May has played phenomenal. But y'all know I'm going with my Houston Texans. Didn't even have to wait on that prediction. Houston all the way in this one. Houston has got a scary, scary defense, the best defense in the nation. I keep saying in the nation, I'm talking about college football. Best defense in the NFL this year. Y'all just watch what we did to old man Rodgers. We beat him into retirement. Not sent him into retirement, beat him into retirement. That's the way you got to do it. Ended his last pass. Aaron Rodgers is going to go down as one of the greatest. He's the greatest thrower of the football I've ever seen. I didn't get a chance to watch Dan Marino in those black and white videos. I got a chance to watch Aaron Rodgers, though. The greatest thrower of the football I've ever seen. But his last play in NFL history is going to be a pick six by the Houston Texans. And I'm cool with that. I got the Texans in this one. Patriots favored by 3. I don't care what Vegas says. I'm taking the Texans in the points. I'm taking the Texans on the money line. I'm taking this Texans defense. C.J. Stroud will not play as bad as he played in that wild card game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just saying it now. Some people saying, oh, man, they couldn't score against Pittsburgh. How are they going to score against this New England defense? Well, New England couldn't score against the Chargers defense. How in the world are they going to score on this Texans defense? If I pick them between the Texans defense and the Patriots defense, obviously I'm going Texans defense all day. Stroud will play better in this game. He's not going to have 5 fumbles. Him and the center, I'm sure, have been pretty much married this last week on figuring out how to get this snap off correctly. We drove the ball on the Steelers all night long. Turnovers is the reason we didn't score as many points as we could have. Could have put up a 50 ball on them boys. Like I said they would before. Now, I know some people before the game was, oh, man, the Steelers haven't lost to Monday Night Football. Mike Tomlin's a better coach than DeMeco Ryans. The Steelers just have, man, none of that mattered, clearly. Gave him a 30 ball, could have gave him a 50. Could have gave him a 50. I got the Texans in this one all the way. The last game, Sunday night, Sunday afternoon or evening, wherever you're going to be watching from, at 5:30, Chicago Bears playing at home at Soldier Field versus the Los Angeles Rams. This is going to be one of the best games of the weekend. A matchup of styles, 2 quarterbacks that can throw the leather off the ball. I mean, just straight up, Matt Stafford, I just spoke about him earlier and what he's done. 46 touchdowns, 4,700 yards, get a dude MVP. Just spoke about Caleb Williams, how I feel about him. The dude can make every single throw. But if I got to go Sean McVay versus Ben Johnson, I'm going to go Sean McVay 7 days of the week. Ben Johnson was playing dumb football in their win versus the Packers. That's why the Packers were smacking them. They're going for it on necessary times. The play calling on short down and distance was not that great. They're going for it on 4th downs. I mean, he played to lose that game, in my opinion. They got hot at the end, and I said a couple of days ago on the show, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are the same, and when they get hot, they get hot. When Ben Johnson dials it up and gets hot, man, he knows exactly what play to call. When Caleb Williams is hot throwing the football, he starts doing stuff only a couple of guys in the league can do. The Josh Allen, the Mahomes, the Burrows, the Lamar Jackson. He does stuff only those guys can do whenever he's hot. I think it stops here, though. Even though they're at home, I think the Rams, man, Rams are my pick to come out of the NFC. I'm sticking with that. I know they just almost lost against the Panthers, but that's a tough game flying all the way across the country to play in a season in a playoff opener against a Panthers team that was hungry and that made plays. I got the Rams in this one. I'll take the Rams and I'll take the points. Right now, sitting at 3.5 on DraftKings. I'll take them on that 3.5, and I'll take the Rams to get a victory. Let's look at some quick takes here, folks, on what's going on around the world of sports before I close it out with some college football. First off, Mike Tomlin also out as the Steelers after 19 years as their coach, 19 seasons as their coach. Talked about it earlier this week. Some reports from inside the Steelers locker room said Mike Tomlin told his team, I think it's best for the organization for me to step down. Aaron Rodgers was caught sobbing, telling his teammates, I'm sorry. Telling T.J. Watt, while he had tears in his eyes, that he was sorry. And T.J. Watt repeating, no, 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 as Tomlin told the team it was time for him to go. Now I get it, man. The emotional attachment, these guys are like family. For him to leave the Steelers, I'm sure was hurtful to them. First part, Aaron Rodgers, why are you crying, bro? You known these dudes like 6 months. You crying like this the guy that drafted you. Like he's the guy that got you out the hood and got you your first bro, you've been there 6 months. So let's stop being dramatic. TJ Watt, you've been there. Tomlin's been your coach the whole time. I'm sure there's a great emotional attachment. But to be saying no, like you can't believe you can't believe that Tomlin's not the coach anymore. Have you watched y'all play for the last decade? That doesn't mean Mike Tomlin's a bad coach. That just means it was time to go. Like he said, it's best for the organization that he stepped down, and it was. They got to go a different direction. I think Mike Tomlin's going to have more success when he leaves the Steelers. I think the Steelers can have some more success maybe in the future with another guy at head coach. So, the crying, hey, I get it. It's emotional, man. The emotions was high and all that. I get that. Aaron Rodgers, come on, bro. Let's stop the cap. You barely know these guys. And TJ Watt, even though you were upset about it, I don't see how you couldn't see the writing on the wall. But that was the reports that came out that said, hey, these guys were in the locker room crying, whatever. Some more quick takes here. We talk about the transfer portal all the time and some of the crazy things we've seen in the transfer portal. And like I've said before, I think that these guys getting paid in NIL is not an issue in college football. But I do think the transfer portal is an issue in college football. Not because guys are allowed to transfer, because guys are allowed to keep transferring over and over and over and over with no repercussions. I don't see how that's good for college football. And here's an example of it. TJ Finley transferring to Incarnate Word. His seventh school. Seventh school. The guy that came out 4-star quarterback, went to LSU. Whatever happened there, that didn't work. Transferred to Auburn. Whatever happened there, that didn't work. Transferred to Texas State. Ended up not playing. That didn't work. Transferred to Tulane. Ended up not playing. That didn't work. Transfers to Western Kentucky. That doesn't work out. Plays last year at Georgia Southern as an old man. I guess that doesn't work out. Now headed to Incarnate Word. Hey, bro, you've headed to just about every single part of the country. You've been in Texas. You've been in Louisiana. You've been in Alabama. You've been in Kentucky. You've been in Georgia. Now you're headed to San Antonio and Incarnate Word. The next place you need to go, Amazon Packing House. It's over, bro. It's over. It's over. The football is over with. This is your seventh school. It's over. You're not going to play here and then somebody sees you and you're going to make it to the NFL. That's not what's about to happen, bro. It is over with. It is a wrap. You're 30. Dirk, shout out Lil Dirk. He's incarcerated now. Shout out Lil Dirk. He got a song where he said, "Get out the street, you touching 30." I got to tell people, get out of college, you touching 30. College sports, at least. What are you doing, bro? And now you're going all the way down to Incarnate Word. Do you just really want to play football that bad? That a guy that started out at LSU and has went to every part of the southern region in college football, that now you got to go and play at Incarnate. Do you just really want to play that bad? If you end up getting benched here, bro, you got to give some money back. Something. This is too far. You're an old man playing college football. This is what's wrong with college football. He's an example of what's wrong with college football. You should not be allowed to play that many years. I don't care what the situation was. I don't care about the medical hardships. Bro, you are old. You should be coaching, not playing. Get out of college. Get out of NCAA and leave these dudes alone. Dante Moore coming back as the Oregon quarterback. Shocks a lot of people, a guy that was pretty much a shoo-in to be the number 2 pick in the draft. Think most people like myself think Fernando Mendoza is going to the Las Vegas Raiders with the number 1 pick. I've said it before. I think the writing's on the wall. He's a Tom Brady fanatic. He's probably got a tattoo of Tom Brady somewhere with how much he talks about Tom Brady. Tom Brady is one of the owners of the Vegas Raiders. Obviously, this is a match made in heaven. I think he's headed there. Number 2 pick was going to be the New York Jets. He's going to give up pretty much nearly $50 million guaranteed contract by going back to college if he would have been the number 2 pick. Now, I get it. Dante Moore hasn't played a lot of football. He wants to come back and develop and, get another year to get older. He's a young guy. I think he's just 20, 21 years old. He's young. Build out that frame some more. But more importantly, he cannot go to the Jets. Now, if the Jets end up getting the number 1 pick or something and he still goes there, that'll be crazy. But I think the Jets having the number 2 pick had a huge impact on him coming back. People saying he gave up a bunch of money. You're not as worried about giving up a bunch of money when you got some money already. He got a few M's already. He's going to get some more M's to come back. Dylan Raiola made the big news that he's transferring to Oregon. Everybody thought he was going to step right in and play. I think this is huge for Dylan Raiola because he's going to get a chance to sit and watch. He's played as a true freshman at Nebraska this whole time. Now you get a chance to sit and watch. Similar to Dante Moore. He played as a true freshman at UCLA. Didn't work out. Transferred to Oregon. Got to sit behind Dylan Gabriel. I'm not sure if you learned anything from Dylan Gabriel, but you got to sit and watch. Dylan Raiola is going to get that as well. Yeah, I mean, I had mixed feelings about the Dante Moore coming back. You're giving up a whole lot of money, but at the end of the day, the Jets are so bad, it's pretty much impossible to succeed there. It's pretty much impossible. Justin Fields looked decent last year with the Steelers. This year, he looked like the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life playing for the Jets. The Jets are the first team in NFL history to not record an interception. I get Aaron Glenn, it was his first year, but you could not have done worse, in my opinion, as a first-year head coach. A lot of things going on in the New York Jets. I get Dante Moore not wanting to be a part of that. You gave up a lot of bread, though, bro. You're leaving a lot of guaranteed money on the table. That's tough, but I get it. I get it. You're saying I can control my own destiny. I'll go to the Jets. Or I'll go to the NFL the next year. And what's going to be a more loaded quarterback class. I mean, I think Julian Sayin will be coming out. I think Arch Manning is already probably going to be the number 1 pick unless he comes out and has a terrible year. This year, not that good of a quarterback class. That's why Mendoza is going number 1. Who's going to replace Dante Moore as that first quarterback off the board? I don't know. Maybe Cade Klubnik. Not that great of an option. I'm not sure who's going to replace this guy. Replace Dante Moore as the next quarterback off the board. But it won't be Dante Moore. He'll be headed back to college. A crazy parlay we saw this weekend. You guys know that watch the show, like to talk about some sports betting. Last night, a guy turned $5 into $10K. These are the ones that just make you mad as somebody that sports bets every now and then. It just makes you mad when you look at this. You're like, man, how do you not think of something like this? Spent $5. First basket, Bam Adebayo. Jamal Murray, first basket. Nikola Vucevic, first basket. Julius Randle, first basket. All those guys hit, turned $5 into $10,000. 10.2K is what he turned that in, man. Shout out to whoever came up with that parlay. I don't think I'll ever get that lucky come up with a parlay like that, so I wouldn't even try it. Jonathan Kuminga come out and demands a trade. This has been back and forth for a few years with this whole Kuminga and Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr feud, I guess you could say. Wanted to trade before, hasn't been playing the last couple of years. Steve Kerr takes him in and out of the lineup for no absolute reason. Hey, can we just come out and say this? I don't think Steve Kerr is that great of a coach anymore. I can't say he's not that great of a coach because he's got 4 championships, even though I think he has a lot to do with Steph Curry being Steph Curry and then them getting Kevin Durant on an already loaded team. I think that has a lot to do with it. But this Kuminga thing just makes me look at him completely different, man. I don't know. Like, did Kuminga say something to you that was just so foul that you just could not think about keeping him on the team or playing him? I don't get the scenario on why he does not play. I don't get what's the deal with him not playing. Kuminga has been one to trade. They paid him this offseason, paid him some money, and they still won't play him. This year, he's the 3rd leading scorer on the team, and he leads the team in rebounds and does not play. He hasn't played in 16 of the last 17 games for Golden State. Man, just trade the dude if you don't want to play him that bad. Just trade him. I don't get it. Kuminga doesn't suck. We've seen him have good games. We've seen him have potential on both sides of the ball. Just trade him to somebody else that can use him. Give him to the Wizards or something, man. I don't know. But just holding a dude hostage and not playing him? I already said the Warriors dynasty is over with and it's crumbling in front of our eyes. But come on, man. This is bad. For y'all to do this to Steph Curry in his last few years, this is just bad. Y'all traded for Jimmy Butler, thought he was going to do something. I don't know what you thought he was going to do. Draymond Green is out there getting ejected more than he's making basketball plays. Klay Thompson's no longer a Golden State Warrior. Warriors suck. I mean, that just is what it is. Warriors suck. Steve Kerr says they're trying to win games, but clearly you're not trying to win games. There's no team in the NBA where the leading rebounder, who's also the third leading scorer, does not play in 16 out of the last 17 games with coaches DNPs. Not no ankle, no nothing, a DNP. Come on, Steve Kerr. Let the dude go if you don't want to play him. I don't get the point of you not playing this guy at all. Let's talk about a little bit of college football as we get ready to wrap up today's show, folks. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. The college football playoffs coming up this weekend. Final thoughts, final predictions. Well, I guess not final because we'll come back on Monday to talk a little bit before the game. But this is going to be a really great game, a matchup of styles between these two teams, the Indiana Hoosiers taking on the Miami Hurricanes. Man, I'm just glad to see Miami back in these championship games. Grew up loving Miami. I was a Miami fan way before I was a Baylor fan. I did not become a Baylor fan until Robert Griffin got there. I didn't know nothing about Baylor. I didn't want to know anything about Baylor. All I knew is they gave tickets out for free for a reason because Baylor was that bad. I was a Hurricane fan. I loved watching the old stuff of the Hurricanes from the 90s, from the early 2000s when I was a kid, seeing those teams, the 2001 team, 2002 team, Andre Johnson, all these guys on there. Grew up a huge Miami fan. When Miami fell off in the mid-2000s, I started liking Texas because they had a guy named Vince Young. And I was rolling with Texas all the way up until the Colt McCoy injury in the game against Alabama in the national championship game. A game I still think Texas could have won if Colt McCoy would have played in that game. Played him tough with a backup. But Miami back to championship status. Love the fact that they're back there. Mario Cristobal, a great coach. There's no better story in sports this year than the Indiana Hoosiers, man. Just straight up. No better story in sports. Hoosiers have been an afterthought in football since the inception of college football. They've never been relevant in college football ever, at any point. I'm talking about, college football has been going a long time, since the 1800s. Past when the helmets were squishy, them boys out there with no helmets. They was out there no helmet. I mean, this is bare knuckle boxing pretty much. How far college football has gone back. Indiana's always been an afterthought. For them to have an undefeated season, 15-0, going to be the first team with a chance to go 16-0 since, I think they said Harvard or something like that. I don't know. Back when the helmets were squishy and they didn't have pads, they were just out there in a fit playing football. Dudes just be out there in a T-shirt and some pants. Like, hey, bro, I just threw this fit on. I guess I'll play football today. Put this squishy helmet on with one crossbar and play a game. But to see what Indiana's been able to do, man, this will be phenomenal. Phenomenal. I got Indiana. That's not surprising. Y'all have seen some of the clips, and those of you that watch the show, y'all have seen I've been on Indiana all year long. They're 15-0. They're 8.5-point favorite in this game, though. And I don't know if I'm ready to pick them 8.5. Now, when Indiana beats somebody, they usually blow them out. I just don't see them blowing them out in a game like this. 8.5 is a lot of points. I won't take them on the points, but I'll take Indiana on the money line in this one for sure. Kurt Netty's going to make history and make the Indiana Hoosiers something I thought I'd never say. College football national champions. We'll break down that game in totality on Monday whenever we come back here today. Let's look at a couple of these games coming out here tonight on the NBA ranks. Phoenix and Detroit already playing right now. Detroit, one of the better teams in the National Basketball Association. Phoenix already up in that game. Boston, give me Boston tonight over Miami, even though they're playing in Miami. Jalen Brown's been playing phenomenal. On Amazon Prime, which I'll be watching in just a second when we get off here, Houston taking on OKC. OKC just got a huge win against the Spurs a couple nights ago. Give me my Houston Rockets, man. Houston making some for real noise this year, football and basketball. We got a chance to do it all. I won't get ahead of myself. Right now, I'll just stay on the Texans train and them getting to the Super Bowl. Won't get ahead of myself, but, man, does Houston have a big chance to do something this year just as a city. If they can get to the finals, potentially get to the Super Bowl, man, the whole city will be on fire. They'll be putting hookahs in the courthouse, man, after that. Houston already known they'll put hookah anywhere. I'm surprised they ain't got hookah in church when you go to Houston. But let them win a championship. man, you're going to see people getting bottle service at the courtroom. Give me the Rockets tonight versus Oklahoma City Thunder. The Spurs in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's just been a joke, man. Giannis flipping off his own fans. Give me the Spurs in that game. Night game on Amazon Prime. The New York Knicks and the Golden State Warriors. I just told you how I feel about the Warriors. Give me the Knicks all the way. Jalen Brunson and the boys. And obviously, I think the Lakers can get another dub tonight versus the Charlotte Hornets. They better get another dub tonight versus the Hornets. Out of time here today on Centex Primetime. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us, not only today, but this entire week. We'll be back Monday to break down more of the National Championship, MCC basketball, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock this Saturday. Make sure you guys getting ready to tune in for that. Great weekend in sports coming up, folks. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next time here on Centex Primetime.